Oh, guys, happy new week. And I am so excited to be doing this session. Over the weekend, I turned 45. Hallelujah, hallelujah. And so this month of August, I am going to be sharing, some stories with you. And I hope from there you can learn one or two things, that you can apply to your life or some things that you can actually avoid. All right. So it's going to be story time. It's going to be juicy. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. It might be emotional, but that is okay. So like I said, over the weekend, I turned 45, and I'm so super grateful to God, to the Almighty God. It is not easy, but God has been faithful. That is something. God remains a faithful God. God remains a faithful God for 45 years. So as of the time I'm doing this recording right now, I am in the United States, but I was born and raised in Nigeria. And probably you can tell by the accent, but born and raised in Nigeria. I did my primary education, my secondary education, and part of my university education in Nigeria before I migrated to the United States in 2003. Yes, and this is a story that really I want to kind of let you to know that sometimes God have a way of ordering your steps, and delay is not a denial. Delay is not a denial. So I graduated from high school in 1996, and my desire was to go to a nursing school. I always love medical line. I don't know for whatever reason. Even while I was in the elementary school, we have a team that we call the Red Cross team. And the team, what we do then is if there is like a sport, like an activities, we are the people in charge of the first aid kit. So we will move things around. If anybody injured, we clean it up and put a little band-aid on it, and I love that. And if you were born in Nigeria or you schooled in Nigeria, you will know there is something we call inter-house sport. We do sports, we do different things. So those days are like a day to shine. We dress cute, and we carrying these little boxes around and have little station. So I always love the medical line, and I love to do nursing. So after I graduated from high school in 1996, I didn't get admission right away. And actually, I was home for almost 4 years. Don't ask me why. But I tried different schools, and at the time, not all the schools in Nigeria offered nursing program. Then there was one in Ondo State, in Akure, in Abeokuta, some places, and I tried all the different schools. So in my time of trying, to get in and all of that, I claimed so many states, to really make it easy for myself. But in the moment of me waiting and just really like, okay, what should I be doing? I was actually teaching, and I enjoyed teaching. I don't know. And even the school that I was teaching, my principal be like, Victoria, why don't you go in the line of education? You are good at this. Even the parents we paid me extra, to give extra lessons to the kids. But mine was like, whatever I'm doing, I like to give it my best. I said I don't see myself doing this. Like I just want to do nothing. I'm like, but you can do. And then they started a program of for if you want to become a teacher, that you can do like a part-time schooling on the weekend. No, no interest now. So in 2000, so I was like, you know what? After being home for 4 years, I think it's enough. Let me try something else. I'm aging at home. So, I'm a person of faith, and I just don't know. The thing just led me to the university in Abeokuta. It's Federal University, Abeokuta. So I got admission there in 2001. And because at that point I was like, if I don't do nursing, I have to do something that is challenging a little bit. I don't know why. And also I have to do something that I know there will always be a job out there for me, that I will always be able to make money. So I decided to go and study mathematics. Yeah, to study math in college. Oh my God. When now I'm beginning to love math, I did science in high school, beginning to love math. I love physics, not as much as I love math, but I love calculation. Anything with calculation, I did further mathematics. So I love that. So I got admission into the university in Abeokuta to study math. It was, I mean, I was few of us were girls among the boys. We take math and physics, all these classes, and people be calling us everywhere. But I love the calculation. Like, if you give me money for anything, I'm buying books on mathematics. I'm telling you. Actually, when I moved to the United States, I brought my mathematics textbooks because I so much love them. But thank God. So I didn't plan to go to Abeokuta, but I went there for the school. And my first year, I didn't get a room, is a housing. So one of my friends, they have a place and be like, you know what, you can come and stay with us, stay with the family. And I was like, at this age, stay with somebody. But it was, I don't know that God has another plan. So I was there. And while we're not on break, we were on, I think there was a strike. So I left school. We're living in Ibadan. My parents lived in Ibadan. So I went to Ibadan. I went back home. By the time I left, they said somebody came from Lagos and brought this application for immigration visa to be able to travel to the United States. So the person brought the forms. Everybody, the household, family, everybody, fill out the forms. So the person I was staying with, he just say, you know what, Victoria, let's make a copy for her, and when she comes back, she can fill it out. When school strike was over, I went back to school and everything. And I'm like, well, this happened where you were away, but the brother was so kind to make a copy for me. But say you have to fill it out to yourself, and you actually have to mail the copy yourself because they've taken everything away. But now I'm responsible. I said, okay, that is okay. So I fill out the form, not even paying attention to it. I just did, like you're playing like a child play. I fill it out and I sent it over. I went to the post office myself in Abeokuta. I mailed it, and I thought that was it. Because I wasn't even thinking about it. Never crossed my mind that maybe I'm traveling out or anything. But I remember in 1997, I had a dream. I found myself in the airport. So and I was like, what does it mean? Then like 2 days later, I had a similar dream. And in that dream, I actually found myself in the airplane. So I was like, and that was the time where I was thinking about, what to study in college. I was like, gee, did something tell me to study engineering? No, I don't want engineering. I don't want to be a pilot. But I didn't know. I just like back to back, I think about 3 times in one week, I heard something about people bidding me, farewell in the plane. And I was like, what does that mean? But then in 2002, uh, after I fill out the application, then they send the form back, and I used the family that I was staying with. And by that time, actually, I've moved. After the first year, I have left the place. I found an apartment closer to the school. So, and they just one day I was just going to church, and I just saw them, and they'd be like, Victoria, we got a package for you. And I was like, what? And then phones and all of that is not so common. You have to literally go to somebody, to be able to get things from them. So they responded back, congratulations, you have been selected. And then I have to fill out another package. Now, like, was it how many pages? About 32 pages. A lot of form that now I need to fill out again to send back to them. And I was like, that is interesting. I never thought of that. So I took my time. I filled out all of the papers. I actually made copies because I'm like, I don't even know what I was doing. And I didn't even talk to anybody because like I don't even know who to talk to. But I filled out all of the forms. But then at the time I went to my pastor, I kind of say, Pastor, this is what is going on. And he was such a great man because he's a doctor. And he was like, Victoria, this is amazing. He prayed with me. I fill out the form. I DHL it. It was expensive to DHL. It was about 1,000 naira then. Let me tell you, and that was 2002. I DHL, I send everything to them. And I totally and I think that took the longest time to come back. I had forgotten about it. We went on holiday. I remember December, I went home. And then in January, when I came back to school, I went to church. And I remember my pastor just called me and be like, Sister Victoria, what is going on with this form? And it's been months, months. And like it was not something I focused on. I wasn't dwelling on it. I wasn't expecting it. And I said, well, I haven't gotten anything back from them, but I said, I don't even care. I'm not bothered by it at all. And I am not looking forward to it. And he was like, you're not looking forward to it. And right there, he cautioned me and it's like, Victoria, this is your destiny. That God is doing something great in your life, and you say you are not ready for it, you are not looking forward to it. And he was like, you have to look forward to this. And he began to explain what it means to travel out. Explained to me, and he said, you know what, if at all, and this is the statement that he made that really kind of really touched me. He said, this is your destiny. He said, if at all you would not travel out, he said, but do everything you need to do, get the visa, and then sell the visa. I was like, there is something like that. He said, I can tell you, you can sell the visa. I'm talking about 2002. Actually 2003 now, early 2003. So you can sell this visa if you get it at nothing less than 350,000 naira. I was like, what? People will pay that much? He said, you do everything you need to do and sell the visa when you get it and know that you sell your future. That was his statement. And I was like, okay, if you could go this far, I'm not going to do that, because they begin to tell me they are making plans to transition to UK. So, but I say, okay, now, yes, now I'm really interested. And he prayed with me, and we were having a fasting and prayer in that month of January. And he said, this is what I want you to center your prayer about around and pray for the release, whatever is holding it back, to let go. Wow, all of a sudden my prayer point changed and I began to pray for it. I prayed that, God, if this is your will, let your will be done. You have done it, this and that. And let me tell you, before the end of that fasting, the package came and it was like, congratulations. I mean, I couldn't believe that. I could for the life of me. And the amazing part was like for the whole group that fill out this form. If you remember, I said somebody came, prepared the form, gave it to people, everybody filled the form, they collected it back, they gave it to him, he took it to Lagos. But mine was separate. Mine was a copy of the form that I filled out myself. I went to the postal office, I think it's a Shabo in Abeokuta. I mailed it myself. I was the only person. I mean, I don't know how many people, but according to them, was a lot of people, in my group. I was like, and it was a miracle that it came. And I mean, it was just mind blowing. And I'm grateful to God today because I'm the first of the family. And in 2003, in September 2003, I left Nigeria to come to the United States. And it was so, so, so amazing. The journey has been so great. And key thing there is like, if I hadn't been to Abeokuta, though I was trying to get into the nursing school, but then I had a detour and I went to Abeokuta. If I hadn't been to Abeokuta to school, I wouldn't have gotten the opportunity to be able to come to the United States today. So I've been in the United States for over 20 years, over 20 years. And that is one aspect of it. And the second thing is I studied mathematics. I didn't finish. I had to move and come to the United States. And when I got here, the nursing I've been thinking about, that is what I ended up doing. When I came and somebody said, you can still do that here, I was like, what? And the good part was being that I studied mathematics, all the courses that I did, most of them, I was able to use them. I was able to transfer them over. And I remember because they were not sure, so they asked me to, they gave me some advanced tests on math and also in chemistry for prerequisite for nursing program. And I did them and whew, what? And I'm very, very grateful to God that I did that, because if not, that would have extended my time as well. And the other good part to it is like, though nursing, we are there to give medications to take care of people, but there's a big component of it that has to do with calculations. So every semester, usually within the first 2 weeks of school, we have to do what we call a dosage calculations. It's something that, we are calculating medications, because, with medications, you don't just give medications. Some you have is based on weight and height. It's based, on different things. You are given to pediatrics, you're given to adult. It's not the same dosage. So every semester of nursing school, we have to do dosage calculation. And if you do not pass it, you cannot continue the semester. So having the background in math really helped me. I mean, I scaled through. I didn't have any issue with any of that. Even some of my friends, I will walk them through that. And it just to let you know that every step of the way, it might be a delay, but then you are learning something from it. And in the previous episode, I was sharing that sometimes in your current situation, that may not be where you want, but then that is where you find yourself. So, what are you doing in that moment? What are you learning from that moment? And how can you leverage your current situation, your current status for your next level? So that is how about me moving from Nigeria to the United States over 20 years ago. And the story doesn't stop here. I'm going to share this additional story, to it. And then next week we hear another side of story, relationship, ministry, career, and all of that. When I moved to the United States, because number one, I did not have people here. So through relationship, people, I was able to get somebody. Initially, I got somebody in Chicago that's actually the address I put on the form that I filled out. But when everything was approved, the person got married and was like, it's not going to be a good timing for that. So I had to look for somebody else. We were able to find another person, another family in Minnesota. That was towards me buying my flight and all of that, gotten the flights. So that was St. Paul, Minnesota, and I don't remember the address, but I know it's St. Paul, Minnesota. So I left Nigeria. I took KLM. That was my very first time flying. Yeah, very, very first time flying, very first time being at the airport. And before I actually said this story, and I really want to thank God for, there is one of my big uncle in Nigeria who I can say was very, very instrumental, because I have never traveled out. I don't even, think about it. Mr. Brown, and he really held my hand and really walked me through a lot of things. I remember him taking me over to a travel agent in Dubai, in Ibadan, in the Cocoa House. Yes, Cocoa House. I mean, he was such a great man, and I'm very grateful to God for his life. He really went above and beyond. Let me tell you, sometimes you need some people, and I mean, I just got to know him when we moved, when I left Ondo to move to Ibadan. And and it was a very brief time that I got to know him, but he came through, let me tell you, because he had network, he knows people, he understands all this traveling thing, and he walked me through. So the Lord bless Mr. Brown. Like one day, God bless you. So I'm truly, truly grateful to God for his life. Well, fast forward to traveling from Lagos to United States to Minnesota. So I got to Minnesota. That was in September. The weather was cooler, and they've told me that it was cold, but in my mind, because when you never experience something, you cannot understand it. Some like they said it's cold. I was like, oh, it cannot be colder than this. Oh, let me tell you, the cold in the United States is so different, compared to the cold we have in Nigeria, the Amatan, whatever we call it. Oh, no, 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 no. We don't have snow in Nigeria, no, and we never go below zero here. So I got this jacket. I was like, oh, no, no, no cold. Let me tell you, that was like a scarf, like it barely owed nothing. But when I came to Minnesota, I stayed with this family for probably about 3, 4 days. Brand new in town. I mean, I'm grateful to God for them, at least that I'm able to come in. But the woman, I don't know what I did. Honestly, till tomorrow, I could not know my fault. I did not know my fault. I don't even know what I did. And I know she just said, no, Victoria, you couldn't stay here. And this is the thing, because I came on a weekend. Remember the Monday or the Tuesday, we went to social security office because I need to fill out some paperwork where they will send my green card and everything. We did that. So I used the address and all of that. And the following day was like, Victoria, you can't stay here. And I was like, I don't even understand. Well, anyway, she kicked me out of the house. I mean, she did so well. She helped me got an hotel. Initially, she was telling me I have to go back to Nigeria. And I'm like, I only got one-way ticket to get here. Even the ticket, if you know how many people contributed to this money for this flight. I mean, I have never seen a huge amount of money. I mean, and then we carry cash with you. This day you do transfer, then you carry cash. I look at the money, it's a lot of money, almost 200,000 naira. Then it was 2003. I remember taking that money to go and give it to them. And by the time I got there, the price has went down a little bit. That was why I was able to get some money and converted that to be able to bring with me. It has come down by 28,000 naira. And then it was exactly $200. Ooh. So I came into the United States with $200. And when she kicked me out, she helped me look for a local hotel. It was $50 per night. And she was like, go back to Nigeria. I'm like, I cannot go back to Nigeria. My family cannot raise another 200,000 naira. It's not going to happen. I mean, like, where? Where she kicked me out, we got an hotel. And that time, she had this friend that came over, a Muslim friend, and she has 2 young kids. That woman was excited to see me. And when I don't even know, but she got to know that I'm no longer at the house. But like, so she came over to the hotel and be like, Victoria, I said, honestly, I don't know. I know she said the place is too small. She's expecting some people to come around. That is what she told me. She wanted me to go to Nigeria and get some and try to figure out things and then come back again. I said, but there is no way I can do that. My family could not even raise money right now for that. So anyway, I was at the hotel and the woman said, you know what, I'm going to talk to my husband. So this is not an ideal situation, but looking at somebody who just came from Nigeria, how much money do you have? For how long can you sustain yourself in a hotel? I mean, like $50 per night, and I only have $200. You could imagine after 4 nights, that would be it. So this is not going to be a good thing. And she said, well, she would try because this may affect their relationship because it's a close friend too. It's a close friend, but then now she has to help me out. But I was thankful I only stayed at the hotel one night. And while I was there, I was making phone calls. I got a calling card using the hotel phone and call Nigeria. I was calling my pastor, calling everybody to really, please, I'm stranded. I'm homeless. I have nobody. I'm in Minnesota. They kicked me out. And in the process, the woman, the next day, she got me. I went to stay with her. I mean, it was a very small apartment. She has two little kids, and I understand. She said, you can't be here for so long. I'm a Muslim, I'm this, but I just want to see how you can find your footings. But I thank God, I think within 2 weeks, I was able to get another family, church family, church family. I was part of Redeemed, ordained in Redeemed. So we have a family in New York. I say, Victoria, you can come. And I thank God for them. The family of the Adiolas, Pastor and Pastor Mrs. Adiolas, they were ministers at the time, but now they are full pastors in the regime. And I thank God they welcomed me with open arm, and that is how my journey started. Um, in the United States. It's longer. I'm just trying to kind of really give you a snippet of it. But today, celebrating 45 years, celebrating almost 21 years in the United States is the grace of God. I can say I've in the next few years, I've almost lived all my life in the United States, but God remains a faithful God. Even though I am in a strange environment, but God always show up for me and favored me. So I thank God for that. So that is part one of my story, and I want you to help me to thank God. Put in the comment, just help me to thank God. And if there is anything you are trusting God for, He's going to do it for you. Delay is not a denial. Detour doesn't mean the end of the road. It's just another way of getting somewhere. And God knows how to make everything work for our good. He said, for everything will work together for your good to those who love God and the called according to his purpose. And I always believe in that it doesn't matter how rough the journey might be. It doesn't matter if the path is dark, but the end is going to be so bright and so beautiful. So never give up on yourself. Whatever dream that God has laid on your heart is going to come to pass. Hold out to faith, leverage on people. Everything that I've done is through people. For somebody to think of me when I was not even there and say, what, let's save a form for Victoria. That is the favor of God. That is the Holy Spirit. You're not there. I wasn't there. They could have not just do anything and not tell me anything I wouldn't know. So I'm grateful to the Akim Boboros family. And for me coming into the United States and somebody housed me, I'm grateful to God. People. So, and that's why I always tell people, when God put people in your life, you may not know for whatever reason. So be kind to people. And if God is laying it on your heart to be a blessing to other people, please do. All right. So that is a little bit about that journey. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Another episode coming next week on this journey. All right. I love you guys. This is First Lady V. This is First Lady V. God has been amazing, and I am truly grateful to Him. So God bless you guys. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. All right. So thank you so much.